everyone. I am ready to get my front porch decorated for fall. It's usually the last thing I share, and I always wait until the leaves have turned, but we've had such amazing fall-like weather lately that I wanted to go ahead and at least get the front porch done so we can enjoy it. So y'all know that I am not going out and buying decor, but I just like to take a walk and gather flowers and leaves from the yard. I love goldenrod. I get so excited when the goldenrod blooms because I associate it with fall, and it's one of my favorite things to see growing around the edge of the garden, and especially driving down the road, I just love to see the goldenrod. I usually cut branches with pretty leaves for the porch, but we really don't have anything that's changed color except for the dogwoods, so I'm just going to use goldenrod, marigolds, sunflowers, and lots of pumpkins and gourds from my garden. I love to grow different kinds of pumpkins and gourds, and I always enjoy seeing what I end up with when the season is over. I've mentioned before that we don't eat any of the pumpkins because we use the candy roaster squash for pies and recipes that call for pumpkin. I have a Thanksgiving video from last year where I show how we make my mother's delicious candy roaster pies that I will link. Some years I don't use my cornstalks on the porch because they're really messy, but they were beautiful this year, and Daddy cut them off for me yesterday, so I wanted to use some here on the porch, and I'll make some corn shocks to put in different places around the property as well. There's just something about cornstalks that really make me think fall and harvest. It was getting late, so I decided to just finish everything the next day, and as soon as I went over to the garage, I see my daddy, who was 86, and had been cutting, splitting, and stacking wood all day, taking a bike ride. He had just been riding a motorcycle with my brother the day before. This is definitely why he is in such great shape. I cut my flowers the night before and just left them in a 5-gallon bucket of water overnight, so I was ready to arrange them in this old wagon wheel hub. I have a vase sitting inside that I just put water in, and I love to use this for flower arrangements here on the porch. And I actually have another one that I use on the buffet inside the house. I am not a flower arranger by any stretch of the imagination. My mother is amazing at it, but I always struggle. I'm just starting with the goldenrod, and then I'm going to add some flowers for my garden and then fill in with marigolds. I grow marigolds every year for the specific purpose of having orange and yellow flowers for fall. I did buy some mums last year for the back porch, but I generally just use the marigolds and whatever else I can find in the yard. I have shared these bows I make out of fabric strips before, and it's just something that I love to do. I take fabric and either use pinking shears or I just rip the strips. Then I basically just fold and put all the strips together just like you would when you are making a regular bow out of ribbon. For fall especially, I like to add burlap ribbon or raffia because I just love the organic and natural texture it adds, and I just feel like that's the perfect look for fall. I'm going to share the porch now, and I hope this video brings you a moment of peace and comfort, which I feel like we all need right now. My grandmother gave me a book of poetry when I was a child, and one of my favorite poems in that book is Out in the Fields with God by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. The little cares that fretted me, I lost them yesterday. Among the fields, above the sea, among the winds at play, among the lowing of the herds, the rustling of the trees, among the singing of the birds, the humming of the bees. The foolish fears of what may happen, I cast them all away. Among the clover-scented grass, among the new-mown hay, among the rustling of the corn, where drowsy poppies nod, where ill thoughts die and good are born, out in the fields with God. Elizabeth Barrett Browning.